Good evening. So, okay, it's the 9th of August, 2025. It's just gone 6 p.m. And for around about 20 years, probably more, I've been wanting to do an overnighter in the woods again. Um, I did this with friends, probably early 2000s, and then again in the late 90s. And it wasn't called, well, two friends of mine, especially one friend, used to use the term bushcrafting, and another friend of mine that was in Two Para in the late 90s used the term bushcrafting. Uh, the friend I had in the late 90s, early 90s, uh, basically was in the parachute regiment, and he talked to me about survival, bushcrafting, um, you know, basically living off the land. Uh, Early 2000s, friend of mine also um, was talking about bushcrafting, but he was more into it from a civilian point of view. So I've dipped into it over the years and not really sort of thrown myself into it. The past 20 years plus, I've been a self-employed gardener, my own business, and I've really thrown my weight behind that over the past few years. Cancer diagnosis, a blood cancer diagnosis in 2018, and family life with my wife, stepdaughter, and living in basically last few years mostly in Telford in Shropshire, although I am originally from the Orange Gorge area, namely the village of Chatfield. So that brings me to my location. I'm not really too far away from the Orange Gorge. In woods I know well. In woods I grew up in. And, when I was a kid, I'd come out, and the only thing that stopped me from stopping out all night was my mum calling me. And obviously I had to get in for my tea. So I've been planning this for a number of years, and had health setbacks. I have what we think is peripheral neuropathy in my feet and legs from the cancer medication. So, trying to do a physical job and I do a cleaning job in the evening, it's difficult. So, and stress can be a part of being in pain, not working as much as you used to, because when I was a few years ago self-employed, I was working all the time. Money was good, times are good, but when you work less, you get less money. So that impacts you to a certain degree financially, and stresses and strains of everything really, and being in pain most days. So the key for me was really for a number of years to come out into first of all a woodland setting, and just do a solo hike up into the woods in a fairly remote location where I am now. Bring a tent and a few supplies, snacks, a couple of beers, nothing to write home about. Just to chill out with a couple of beers in the evening and some food, and that's it. I bought a camping stove for me tonight, um, today. Um, Little days out in the woods. I've sort of had a fire and cooked with a fire, with a fire pit, but not today. The ground woods are too dry, and it's not worth it. And I don't want to bring too much attention to myself, really. Although I've been in these woods many times over the years, I don't want to bring too much attention to myself. So I'll be camping overnight, and my intention is to just pack up in the morning and head home. Future reference, future times. I think, yeah, I'll do a couple of nighters, but breaking myself in gently. And sometimes I haven't always got the time to do, more than 2 nights. In fact, this is the first camping night out I've had in over 20 years, I've just said. So my loadout tonight is just a military surplus rucksack, 100-litre military surplus rucksack, snacks, supplies, just an old camping stove with a couple of gas bottles. Just keep it simple. Fire kit, the basics. And I've basically got sun pack, jungle blanket, and I would have bought my sleeping bag if I'd remembered it. I didn't remember it, so I'm not going 8 miles all the way back home to get my sleeping pad just for one night. So what I've done is got a new tarp, Free Soldier. You guys might have heard of it. And basically I have put that down on the floor of the tent, and then obviously the sun pack blanket on top. So yeah, for one night, not so bad. Now there's a lot of deer in this woods, and a lot of leaf fall, a lot of dead fall, so there's not much on the flat here, to be fair. It's near the Ironbridge Gorge. People that know the Ironbridge Gorge, there's nothing on the flat. It's steep inclines, and the woodland surrounding the Ironbridge Gorge is pretty much the same, but there's not much on the flat. So I've picked pretty much the most flattest place I could find, and I've just got a large branch, and I've cleared all the leaves, all the debris away from my campsite, and pulled out some briars, roots, and so forth, so on. So yeah, little bits and pieces I've got with me is a hiking pole. I'm not even sure of the make of the hiking pole. My cutting tool is a Baco Blacklander, and so I have the only knife I've really bought with me is this one here, which I use as a neck knife really. So there you go. That is a superb knife, really is. So it is by Boca Magnum, so I pronounced that correctly. I bought this from a shop in Beaumaris in Anglesey called Celtic Corner, and it is a fantastic shop. Go and check it out. It's a shooting, hunting shop, and if they ever get rid of that shop or they have to ban it or whatever, I will cry. You can buy anything from there. So anyway, that's a fantastic little knife. I'll tell you a story about this. The lady in the shop showed me this knife, and I thought, I don't want a big knife. I want a small, compact knife for whittling. I can easily, cut down smaller bits for small campfires with that easily. And it's so thick, so sturdy, so well made, and in your ergonomics of it in your hand. I mean, I haven't got very big hands for a guy anyway. Somebody with large hands might struggle, but It's just easy to use. But I pulled it out of its sheath in the shop, and I caught my thumb basically on the guard and cut my thumb open. The lady in the shop, her face was a picture. So anyway, so so little bits of gear I bought over the years, bits food wise. I've just brought stuff from home. I already at home. I haven't bought anything, outrageous. I don't believe moving forward. I don't think I'm going to buy expensive camping food if I do make this, habit. I've got a YouTube channel. Uh, YouTube channel. Sorry, Des Outdoors. My Instagram page, Des Outdoors. I've got a couple other Instagram pages, which is basically me and my trading name, which my gardening business, and a little photography Instagram page that I set up a few years ago, just to taking a few pictures and posting on Instagram. So yeah, there we go. So I am hopefully I'm going to do this more often. Um, you know, Early days yet for me as such, in terms of going out wild camping, bushcrafting, things I know relatively. I know how to get a fire going, um, techniques to get a fire going. That's no issues for me as such. I'm not going out and building loads of forts or shelters in the woods. I'm just not into that. I haven't got the energy all the time. 20, 30 plus, 40 years of being a gardener, landscaper, the last thing I want to do is come out with a saw and an axe and start fucking chopping stuff down and building forts or shelters or anything like that. My inspirations actually for coming out like this are friends, like I've said, stipulated. But Luke at the Outdoor Gear Review, love him. I've been watching Luke for a number of years. Corporal's Corner, just, obviously US Marine, so, his knowledge is just out there. You know, a few others on YouTube and Instagram that I've been following over the years, which have gave me ideas, pushed me in the right direction. And I think, one thing I want to be doing in the next few years is work less if I can afford it and come out more to the woods or to other locations and do wild camping or bushcrafting a little bit more often if I can. I'm not one for, unfortunately, hunting or killing wild game. I live in the UK. I could apply for a gun license, but unfortunately, I'm a vegetarian or a pescatarian, so I eat fish. So there might be something in the future for me to basically get my fishing license and maybe do a little bit of fishing down by the River Severn, which is just down the road from where I am, and basically just catch some fish in the Severn and cook it bushcraft style. I'm intrigued whether to maybe the military MREs, if they're worth bringing out for certain, couple of all-nighters, or a whole weekend, or even 2-3 days, if it's worth me buying the MREs basically to bring out and try those. I'm quite fascinated by those. The fact that you've got 3 meals in one, and this kind of thing. But like I said, in terms of food, everything that I brought today I had around the house anyway. So the veggie sausages this morning, beans, that was my breakfast. My lunch was just an energy bar and water, and just tuna pasta thing dish, and then the dumplings where I just did on the stove, and I bought a little bit of oil with me in a container. So that is pretty much it, guys. So I don't know if I'm going to do these videos often, or do a loadout gear kind of thing. Describe my bug out bag, as the Americans will call it. Loadout bag. I don't know where I'm going to go with this yet. So I'm just basically going to go and see how it goes. In terms of professional editing or this kind of thing, I'm not really, really sort of clued up on that too much yet. So bear with me if it seems a bit amateurish. But yeah, sundown is about 2.5 hours away. Night's drawing in a little bit. That's why I thought I'd make the most of coming out. Been a lovely, gorgeous day today. Things to do when you're out all day, bushcrafting or wild camping. Amazon Kindle. I've downloaded a few books on that over the years. On Ozzy Osbourne's autobiography. I've been reading some of that today, and I've been absolutely pissing myself laughing. It's a good job as I'm in the middle of nowhere, because, Ozzy was a legend and brought up in a rough part of Aston in, not long after the Second World War, and, Black Sabbath legacy, it will live forever as far as I'm concerned. And the fact that I've seen Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne over the years, the Ozfests and Black Sabbath various reunions over the years, NEC in Birmingham, and Ozzy and Sabbath's music will last for a long, long time. So now I waffled on for nearly 20 minutes, 17, 18 minutes, sorry. I'm going to basically cut the video short, and now I've explained who I am, and I made a little video a few years ago, but I'm not too comfortable in making these videos, I must admit. So it's just a case of getting more used to it, explaining the gear that I'm using in more detail, because that seems to be the thing that people like to hear about, is the gear you're using. So okay, look after yourselves, take care, and get out and about and go for walks, enjoy. Even if you're living in a city, just go out for a walk somewhere with friends, enjoy the outdoors. Take care.